Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about Roblox and how they're getting sued, and what am I going to do, or what are we going to do? Alright, let's get into it. So, I saw this article from CBS News, link is in the description below, and the article says the National Music Publishers Association has sued Roblox for copyright infringement on behalf of several music publishers in a lawsuit seeking $200 million in damages. And it also says Roblox actively encourages its players to utilize music from artists like uh, Imagine Dragons, Ed Sheeran, Ariana Grande, and others without paying appropriate licensing fees. So $200 million in damages. And also, there's also another article. This is from IGN. Link to this is in the description as well. They also say that the lawsuit seeks a minimum of $200 million to cover the damages. So 200 million at least, and how high could it go? I couldn't find that information. So if you guys did find out, let me know in the description below. But $200 million lawsuit minimum. All right. So before we get into that, let's take a look at what would happen if hypothetically they did get sued for 200 million, if they did have to pay that 200 million. So let's jump into cash and cash equivalents right here for Roblox. This is from Morningstar, by the way. These numbers are all in billions of dollars, as you can see here. For their balance sheet, cash and cash equivalents as of Q1 2021, they have $1.6 billion in cash. So, if they did take that hit, that $200 million lawsuit, if they did have to pay that, it would go down to 1.4 billion, which isn't so bad. But the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, this is minimum 200 million. So we don't really know how high that lawsuit could go. But before we get into the next slides, let's just quickly go over more of the company's fundamentals. For their revenue, good thing with the revenue is that the revenue is increasing. So they're making more money each year as time goes on. That's really good for future cash flows and being able to pay off anything like this lawsuit related things. And also for their EPS, this is not the best. Right now it is in the negative, as you can see here. Went from negative 0.17, 0.13, negative 0.48, negative 0.55. So that is not really good for Roblox right now. Also, their debt, latest numbers on debt is 0.23 compared to their cash. They still have a lot of cash to cover their debt, so that is good. Free cash flow is increasing over time. Here you can see trailing 12 months is 0.52. So right now, depending on how large that lawsuit could actually be, it doesn't look the best for Roblox. Roblox could be in a tight situation here. So what am I doing right now? I did recommend Roblox for one of my samplers, and I have recommended it in the past. I personally do have shares of Roblox, and right now, uh, I am just holding my current shares for at least a few years. And instead of adding to Roblox, I'm just adding to other positions in my portfolio for now and waiting for more news about the lawsuit. So I'm not selling any Roblox shares, I'm not buying any more. I'm just holding it and waiting to see what happens. And also, this reminds me a little bit of what happened to Activision Blizzard back a few years ago. These are two articles. Links to both are in the description below. Here, this is why Activision Blizzard is down 24.8%. This was in published December 8th, 2018. There's another one. This is timeline of Activision Blizzard's terrible week as it faces fans protests after an esports athlete was punished for voicing support for Hong Kong. This is back in October 12th, 2019. So 2018, 2019, let's look at what happened to Activision stock. Activision stock is here on the right. 2018, 2019, here you can see that Activision had a high of about $80-ish, and then all this bad news hit, and then it roughly got cut in half. Here you can see May 24th, 2019, it got cut in half to about 42.29, and all of this negative stuff was happening to the company. Like, you don't know what could happen, you don't know how bad it could get, and I did have a lot of cash in Activision. So I didn't add to shares at the time. I just held them and then wait for good news to come. If good news does come, and if it did come, then I would add more to the position. So as you can see here, stocks can be really volatile. Like this 50% loss, and then slowly over time, it went up. Now that doesn't always happen. So same thing with Roblox. I like to add to good news, not bad. So here it had a high of roughly, what was it? A little over $100 a share for the 52-week high. And now as of June 16th, it's at $83 a share. So that's what, roughly a 20% drop in the ballpark? 20% drop so far. So right now we don't know what's going to happen with the lawsuit. And the reason why I'm just holding and why I'm not selling is because what's the maximum that you can lose in a stock? 100%. Or that percentage should be after again. I'll change it later, but 100%. And the maximum you can gain is limitless. There's no limit to how high a stock price can go. So just hold, and then your winners will make up for your losers. That's why we diversify. So let's say worst case scenario happens. I'm holding Roblox, and then more bad news comes, more bad news comes, more bad news comes, and nothing good happens in the company, and the company goes bankrupt, and I lose 100% of my holdings. Roblox goes to zero. That's fine. Why? Because I'm diversified into other positions, and those other positions, they can go up by more than 100%. So hypothetically, you can have one winner that will make up for all your losers combined just by holding on to everything. That's why we don't sell when you hear bad news. You just hold on to it. And then once you hear the good news, then you add more to it as time goes on. All right. Also some final notes. If you don't know, my goal is to outperform the spider, which is kind of like the S&P 500. That's the market averages. If you want to get a link to that, that's in the Google Sheets below. You can find that in the description. And also, I have a discussion tab here on my YouTube channel. You can click that and click on newest first. And if you click newest first, you'll see the newest comment right at the top, because for some reason YouTube doesn't always have the newest comment at the top. So yeah. Anyway, just click newest first, and that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.